Morning, everybody. Thank you so much for your lovely comments. It was so nice to see all these lovely faces and comments come back up. So thank you for that. Everything's a bit dishevelled because we are joined by Madam. I've had a bit of a morning, to be honest. I'm just going to use some of this Grippy Serum Primer from Maybelline. I had a bit of a morning because yesterday I was working on, I've got arthritis in my hands, as you can see, that finger, how useful. And I've got a lovely massager that Craig bought me for Christmas. It's really good. It massages and it's got heat settings and it does help. And I thought, well, I'll do both my hands. So anyway, I did this hand and then I thought I'll do this hand. And I couldn't for the life of me get my wedding ring off. And I tried to get it off again this morning and had a bit of a panic because I made my whole finger swell up. And it's still a bit swollen now. And I have tried ice and cold water and washing up liquid and Vaseline. I'm going to have to do that trick with the dental floss, I think, where you feed it under and... Or I'm going to have to go to the jeweller's and have my ring cut off. And it's not... It moves around my finger fine. Unfortunately, I think I've got arthritis in my knuckle and I've just not realised it over the last few months. So, yeah, great. So it's been a bit of a panicked morning where I had to calm myself down because I was getting so panicked that my finger was swelling up. And I thought, oh no, my finger's going to go blue and drop off. So that, right, we're going to put some of this on, Skin Tint by Armani. So that, and then I've been talking to a friend of mine because we've been collating and comparing notes from last year for various reasons, but this is a friend who, as you know, my very good friend was very ill last year and lots of things happened that I've not spoken about because it's not my story to tell, but we have just been sort of catching up with what happened and dates and things. And I suppose it hit us both how utterly awful last year was. And yes, I know it was awful, but you know when you kind of don't allow yourself to absorb it because at that moment in time you've just got to keep putting one foot in front of the other. That, and we kept stopping and saying, oh my goodness, you know, how did we do that? How did we get through that? You know, how did we... Yeah, anyway, so of course that led to us being on the phone for over an hour. Anyway, so it's been one of those mornings, so I'm a little bit late chucking the old makeup on, and I've got a few jobs to do today as well. But anyway, so yeah, it's just been one of those mornings. Right, I'm going to use some of the Desert Bloom palette from Makeup Academy. I'm just going to put a little bit of this shimmer on the eyes. I feel discombobulated. Don't know about anybody else. Don't know what it is. I think it's the fact that January feels like it's been January for longer than 29 days, 30 days. Yeah, and we've just had the most awful weather. That doesn't help either, does it? I think we'll put a little bit of colour underneath as well. Just the same one. Why not? A little bit of the NARS, so I'm just going to use a bit of a brightener. So, yeah, one good thing. One of the many good things, really. I have been reading more, which I'm thoroughly enjoying. And what I've loved is there's been a couple of books that I've thought, I don't know about this. Am I really going to be interested in them? And one of them I read in about 3 days. The writing just flowed. And the other one, it's taking me a bit longer because I'm absorbing the information. Although it's fiction, it is historical fiction. But a lot of what's in it is fact. That makes sense. And I'm really, really enjoying it. It's really, I could fall down the rabbit hole of trying to find out more, which could be quite dangerous. So I will be talking about books in another video. So yeah, I have been doing my reading, which is great. I've also been doing a bit of journaling, which I haven't done for quite a long time. And suddenly I realised how popular journaling is. Now, how you want to describe journaling is up to you. It doesn't have to be so specific and, you know, frightening. I have a very nice journal. I treated myself to a very nice journal from Vienna with some Christmas money from my lovely parents-in-law. And I keep a bit of everything in my journal. So I don't have separate journals. I just have them all together. And I have sections. So I have sections where I have things that I maybe read in a magazine and I cut out. I have sections of places that I've visited, travel stuff. I have a beauty section of products that I'm using and what I feel about them. I have a book section, just little notes and things. And I have a sort of journal section where I write down thoughts and feelings, not necessarily every day like a diary. And then I have a shorter, smaller version. I do have a separate diary, just little notes, specifics, if there's anything, you know, major I've got to consider paying for, or that kind of thing. And I rooted out all my lovely ink pens, because I used to just write with a fountain pen a long time ago, and I kind of got out the habit, and I thought, no, I'm going to get back into enjoying using a fountain pen. So I rooted my fountain pens out, and I bought a lovely bottle of ink. I really wanted to buy a bottle of red ink, but I do always remember my mother saying it's rude to write in red, and I can't get her voice out of my head. So I got a bottle of blue ink. However, oh, it's so nice to have an ink pen again. You forget how glorious it is. So I've started doing that, which feels absolutely lovely. Really lovely. So good things, just the little things sometimes. I really love these. Now they are PR. I have seen them sort of on various other people's posts, but these are the blushes from Pixie, and it is their On the Glow blush. They've launched 3 new colours, and they sent me them, which is really lovely. This is the Cassis colour. They're lovely because they're so gorgeously creamy as well. And I like them because you get a nice pigment, but you get a natural pigment from them. I need a better brush. I'm using the wrong brush. Yeah. But they do some nice shades, and I love the packaging because they're just so easy to pack away, and you get a safety cap as well, so that protects the blusher, which I really love. There we go. And then I have this also from Pixie, and I like this. It's like a felt tip pen lip colour. I love it. Really, really nice. It's called Lip Blush in the shade Purity. And it dries down onto the lips, but not uncomfortable at all. It's really, really natural. I love it. That's my makeup for today. So yeah, been sort of making a few nice changes, I suppose, comforting changes, which is always nice. I do find the sort of journaling aspect lovely. I've always loved stationery as well, so I think that's always nice. to embrace that kind of thing. And I think we're in a world that's so chaotic. It's just chaos wherever you look. People, weather, politics, life in general, that sometimes you do need to take a step back. And I just find those things really comforting. And I also think, clearly, very, very luckily, I get to look out at the sea, and that definitely helps to just sort of center you. And yeah, keep you kind of on the straight and narrow. But that's it for today. Hope you like the makeup. Let me know what you're up to. Let me know if there's anything that you've changed or you've been more determined to do. I'm not talking resolutions, because I hate that. Just hate it. And I'm not talking manifestation things, because I find that all a bit no. But just stuff that you're kind of realizing, you know what, I need to do this for me, because it just brings the lid down a little bit and brings some sort of calm, and that's what we need. You kind of think, I mean, I thought during the lockdown and COVID that we would come out of it better, more informed folk. And it's not for me to be naive. I'm naive about some things, but generally, you know, the pessimist I am. That's quite optimistic of me, I think. And that's why I'm not an optimist very often, because that's how wrong I am. We came out of it, I think, probably worse. We didn't learn anything, did we? No, Rebecca. Right, I'm going before Gail's going. She's going for a rant, everybody. She's going to rant. Take care. Lovely to see you all pop up again. And I'll be back soon.